This is my application of traditional and alternative perspectives by Caroline Stang. So for the patriarchy, this is the picture I chose because patriarchy, in one definition, is seen as the influence of a male-dominated culture. I think that this image connects to the idea because it represents the amount of men in high-standing positions compared to women. I believe that we surely live in a patriarchal society today, seen as there are always more men in charge than women. This tells us that we as a society still believe men are superior to women, and this image shows how undermined women in working positions are. I think that social workers can challenge these views by voting. Whether in the U.S. election or in their own offices, social workers, more often than not, are able to choose who runs their country, state, town, or workplace. It is up to them to vote for those who believe that women are just as equal as men, and that the male-dominated culture we live in needs to be destroyed. This was only the second picture that popped up when searching privilege in a search engine, and I knew it was the one I wanted to use as soon as I opened it. I think that this picture connects perfectly to the data surrounding privilege because it shows how different two lives can be. I believe that the track is symbolizing life, and the race is clearly unfair. On the left is a white man, and on the right is a black woman. I don't know anything else about either of these characters' identities, but I do know that this is not a rare situation. The man has 2 easily averted obstacles in his way, whereas the woman has at least 6 obstacles that will take much more work getting around. This represents the underprivileged people how underprivileged people in society begin their lives with obstacles already set ahead of them, just for being who they are. It shows how they are at the same starting point on the same level, but when the race in life starts, the man will have a much easier time getting through than she will, and neither of them had anything to do with that decision. I think that some privileged people believe that this is an unfair image. Some believe that their hard work is the reason for their success. I believe that this is true, but I don't think they understand how much easier it was for them than others. I think that social workers can challenge this view in privileged people by opening their eyes to other lives. I don't believe that they are meant to pity those with less privilege or undermine our own difficulties in life because someone else has it worse. But I do certainly believe that everyone should have full knowledge of our differences. We as social workers need to educate those who aren't aware of the privileges in life and hopefully open their eyes to see their lives and others in a different way. My first thought when thinking about which image speaks to me the most in terms of feminism was this quote by Rapi Kaur that says, "I want to apologize to all the women I have called pretty before I've called them intelligent or brave. I am sorry I made it sound as though something as simple as what you're born with is the most you have to be proud of, when your spirit has crushed mountains. From now on, I will say things like, you are resilient, or you are extraordinary, not because I don't think you're pretty, but because you are so much more than that." I fell in love with this quote the moment I read it because I felt how much it spoke to me as a woman. I think this quote connects to feminism in such a strong way because it focuses on the idea that women are not just their frames. Women are not just something to be looked at and used, as was thought by many in centuries past, and still thought by some today. Women are rather resilient, extraordinary, intelligent, and brave, just as the poem says. I feel as though this poem connects closely to our discussion in class about the film series Killing Us Softly, which promotes this very idea that women are more than their looks. Social workers can challenge these opposing feminist ideas in many ways, but one simple way is to treat the women around them and their feminine clients with respect. One of the core values that social workers are known for is the dignity and worth of a person. If social workers treat the women around them with dignity and worth, rather than viewing their outside appearance, and continue the conversation of feminism, they are already challenging these appearance-based ideas that Rapi Kaur speaks of.